Hey everybody, welcome to Montana. I'm Ed Caffer, ABS Mastersmith, and Tim has come up with a really cool idea this year, and this will be my first time, so bear with me through this. Normally prior to the Blade Show, I will take pictures of all of my works, post them up on the website. Tim had a great idea. He wanted to make a video preview. And so here we go. We're going to take you through what I have currently going to the Blade Show with me. I also have a couple of folders that are in process, and keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully they'll be there. But anyway, we'll just get going and get into the knives. The first ones I finished up for this show, I made a culinary set. And basically these are my fossil Damascus. And then the round portions are plug welded explosion patterns. The handles are desert ironwood. And hopefully, if all goes well, my plan is to have a stand, basically a display stand, both of these knives will fit in. And I'm planning on making that out of desert ironwood also. Both of these blades have been coated with clear gun coat, so there's almost zero maintenance. Those of you who know custom knives know these don't go in the dishwasher. These are hand wash only, very gentle, and then dry them off after you're done. Give you a shot of the reverse side of both of them.
A lot of people have been asking about these knives too.
Yeah, I've had several calls, a couple of calls, as a matter of fact, today, asking about them, so we'll see how those go. Next up, one of my fossil Damascus hunters. Pretty much, I would call it plain Jane for me. Nickel silver fluted guard, black and white spacer, and this is macadamia wood for the handle. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, macadamia is a Hawaiian wood, macadamia nut. And full distal taper on these, which means thickest portion, tapering all the way down. And likewise, the hidden tang's the same way. And the macadamia on this particular one's finished out with about, I think I remember, 14 coats of true oil. So this will be one of the drop point hunters I'll have. Moving on, we got kind of a chubby little bugger here.
I love this one. A lot of attitude in it.
Yeah, this is a real tight twist skinner. I don't make very many skinners. I just had kind of a whim to do so, so that's what I did. This blade is also coated with gun coat, nickel silver fluted guard, nickel silver black and white spacers, and then a stabilized maple burl handle. I chose, normally you'll see a pin in most of the handles, and because of the pattern, sometimes I'm not doing that anymore. Just a couple of people that have said they didn't like the pin in there because it kind of interrupted the wood pattern.
Give it a flip.
Oh, flip on this side. And see, right there's proof it's stabilized. There's the stabilizing showing through.
Beautiful piece.
Next up, this one actually turned out really cool. This is another drop point hunter that's out of Mosaic Damascus. Nickel silver fluted guard. This one I put copper spacers in. And then the handle is desert ironwood.
I like that wood. That's pretty. Look at that blade. Good heavens.
And again, distal tapered. And these are all going to have a little bit of touch up there. Here, still here in the shop. One of my very typical, Tim calls this one the long ricasso knife, because it's got the choke up point in it for choking up on the blade.
That's great for a big hand because it has really big hands. I mean, look at that. That's perfect if you're doing detail work.
Fossil Damascus again, nickel silver fluted guard, black and white spacers, and a desert ironwood handle. And because the pattern wasn't so pronounced in this piece of ironwood, it does have the pin in it. That's also a nickel silver pin.
Switch.
Flip it around. Opposing side. See, there's some little boogers that'll get cleaned up and all that. Yeah. It's just some wax and odds and ends things.
It puts a lot of time into making them on-site ready, but, well, they're in the shop here.
Yeah. Next up, this is a Mosaic Damascus, a large hunter. Several times down at the Bladeshow, I've had guys come up to me that wanted a bigger bladed hunting knife, and this is it. Again, it's got the choke up on it, so you can choke up on it. My Mosaic Damascus, finished with gun coat, nickel silver guard, copper and black spacers, and this was another piece of wood that, because of all the pattern, I chose not to put a pin in it. And just in case anybody wants to know, all of these handles are on with Acroglass. It's basically the only adhesive I use for knife handles. The reason I do that is because it has a guaranteed 50-year hold life. So anyway, that's that one. For some reason, Tim wanted me to take this one.
This thing is awesome. I'm telling you.
It's just a little odd EBK. Tim saw it, that it was cool, and I thought, well, I'll just take it then. This will have a Kydex sheath that goes with it. All the ones you've previously seen are going to have 8, 9, 9, 10 ounce leather sheaths. Some of those are actually still in the process.
You should see his hands after he gets done with it. He's been working so hard on those. That is gorgeous. I mean, it just has character. That's what I'm telling you. It almost looks like a gun in a way that you have the,
yeah.
the handle on it. It has a gun look to it. I think it's stylish.
This is probably my best piece for the show.
His wife loves this one too, so buy it before she takes it.
Yeah, this is a Mosaic Damascus Bowie. The one-of-a-kind Mosaic in it. The Mosaic is actually 52-100, 1095 powder, 1084 and 15N20. Blued mild steel fittings. I took the time and textured the front of this guard. Sandbar stag handle.
And this is the blade that we actually did the full video series on, correct?
Yes, yeah, this was actually part of the can welding that we did on our video series.
And that's on our website.
Yep. And then butt cap is also hot blued mild steel. And this is a through tang knife, which means the tang goes all the way through. And this is a titanium screw that connects everything together on the tang. This will have a carved and textured leather sheath with it, and it'll be what we call a frog style sheath, which means that it's designed so that it's intended to ride under the belt with the frog on top as a stop. Next up, I got a little crazy and tried something new. I saw some micarta, I believe it was on USA Knife Maker Supply, and it was called Python. And so I decided I was going to do, this is one of my EB3s. This blade's been stone washed. Still yet to be marked, as you can tell, no mark on it. These blades are all 1/8 inch stock, so I try not to stamp these. It tends to warp them, so these will be etched on. The handle material on this has been bead blasted, and then a single coat of True Oil. And this is a canvas micarta product. The problem with canvas micarta is you leave it in its sandblasted state, it absorbs body oils, hands, and things like that, and it gets all icky and nasty. If you put it just a single coat of True Oil over it, let it cure, you can never tell it's there, but it also never absorbs any of the body oils. And like all my EBKs, it's got a molded Kydex sheath, and it does come with a tech lock. It's intended to ride on a person's belt in this manner. And we've got a couple of those.
How many of those you got total?
And then actually 4 right now, and I have 2 more heat treated. Hopefully I can get those, but I am out of the Python micarta. If you notice on these what I did, I'll pull this out. You can see the different patterning. What I did was the top one was oriented one direction, and then the bottom one was oriented 90 degrees the other direction. So basically it's the same material, but you give it a different look by how you orient it.
And a very limited stock on that one.
Yes, yeah, there's only going to be 4 or 5 of these. I think 4 of them. I'm also in the process right now of working on one Progression 2 folder, which is a Warncliffe blade. Those parts are in the tumbler right now getting stone washed, and then I'll have one of my small flipper folders that'll be mosaic bladed, and this one I'm actually stone washing the entire handle, scales, all that stuff. So it'll be a mosaic blade, but it's going to have the stone wash titanium handles, clip, all the good stuff. All these, with the exception of the kitchen knives, are going to come with leather scabbards. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a shout before the show. Otherwise, I hope we'll see you in Atlanta June 1st through the 3rd. I'll be at table Q2, which is in the ABS section. If the entry doors are still where they used to be, sometimes they switch them up on us. But if it's in the middle of the show hall when you come in the entry door, take an immediate right, and you'll run into the ABS section next to, you have the wall section, and then the ABS section is the next one towards the door. And I'll be in the second row. Come visit me. Also, Tim is setting up the videos. All of our videos are going to be available at a special price, the Bladeshow. They're going to be on a US thumb drive. Something I need to tell you guys. I had an issue before Tim came along with severe piracy of all my videos. What Tim has done is Tim has made them in a streaming format, but they're not of a nature where you can download them, copy them to USB or a CD or anything like that.
So the long story short is you're going to be able to stream them on your computer on the internet.
Yep.
And watch them like you would a YouTube video, or if you like Amazon Prime, like those kinds of videos.
Oh, okay.
Like you do if you've ever done any of that. That's the premise there. They're not downloadable, so you can't put them on your computer. And that's just how we're protecting Ed. This is stuff that is his legacy, and we need to protect that as much as humanly possible. So that's what's going to happen. You're going to get a thumb drive that you're going to purchase from Ed. We wanted to give you something solid, not a piece of paper, not something stupid. We wanted you to be able to appreciate what you were getting. Very discounted price that we're going to work on to do this, and then you're just going to go to the website. I'm going to have a video on that thumb drive to let you know how to do it. It's going to be really easy, and you're going to get all those videos to watch whenever you want.
And this needs a little bit of cleanup, but this is a carved blackwood handle. This is an 80 CRV2 blade that I have filled pretty much all the way down the center with explosion pattern plug welds. Nickel silver guard, fluted, and as I said, carved and textured African blackwood handle. There's probably still some little divots, and not divots, but dits and dats and dirty spots, but that'll all be cleaned up prior to going to the show.
You know what to expect from a Caffrey knife. We don't have to tell you.
So we'll put that back over, and we'll grab the final one. You can see these others sitting here. These are actually ones that may or may not be at the Blade Show. It depends on if Ed gets up the gumption to finish sheaths. Sheaths have been real painful lately, so I'm not sure. Yeah, no kidding. This particular one, and you can see there's some dried wax on it. That's not going to be there. But this is an 80 CRV2 blade, nickel silver fluted guard, and this has a combination maple burl and desert ironwood handle.
I love that. That's gorgeous. That's cool.
And this one already has the sheath done, so it will be going.
Nice.
So we'll put that back. And again, if you guys have any questions for Tim or I concerning anything about knifemakertraining.com or any of the knives that I've shown you today, feel free to give us a shout, and hopefully we'll see you in Atlanta.
And one more thing that we forgot to mention.
What's that?
We're sending him with a whole bunch of sanding sticks.
That's right. Sanding sticks are going to be there. Videos are going to be there.
Yep. And a bunch of awesome knives.
And all kinds of knives.
And I know a couple of you guys want him to sign your sanding sticks. And I bought specific thumb drives, so there's a little bit of an area. I'm going to try and send him with some markers too. So if you want to have him sign something, you can do that as well. I'm sure if you talk him into it, he'll do it.
Absolutely.
So, alrighty. That'll do it.
See you in Atlanta. Take care. Bye now.